another video on our channel. Welcome to another episode of Start to Spin. My name is Diego, also known as DJ Pretty Boy, alongside my boy Shay, also known as DJ Shay. And together we open this spot to talk about DJ related content such as product reviews, tips and tricks, just tell our stories and share it with you guys so we can share some knowledge. So if you're a new DJ or a seasoned DJ, this is the spot to be. And with that being said, let's roll this intro.
Yo, what's up?
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode. Today we have a special guest, and let me go ahead and get him in here real
Everybody,
quick.
put a round of applause. Don't you have the audio with the round of applause? We got Buddy from TVM Productions. There we go. Dab.
That guy dabbing. There you go.
The dab, hitting the dab, throwback.
That's right.
And today we're definitely gonna go ahead and just piggyback from last week, because last week we were having this conversation, and setting boundaries was a good topic that maybe some DJs struggle doing for certain things. There's things that we don't even think about. And like last week, personally, I never thought about, putting in my contract, like, adding or anything that has to do with plugging into my system. I say like an instrument or anything like that. And it came up in the conversation. And since that, I immediately went up to my contract and updated it. And I included into that. So we were talking about this and Buddy said he would charge $500. So we'll let Buddy go ahead and talk about and go in depth into how does this portion of his works. So we learn from him, because that's something new for me too. So,
and we can talk about that. And then the specific situation was like, if that happens live at an event, if a client hits you with that last minute, they have some random performer, and do you have that conversation? Right then and there, how do you handle that situation? So yeah, let's hear what Buddy has to say.
So there's two scenarios. One is prior, and the second one is the day off. So go ahead, Buddy.
Well, so this is the thing you got to look at, is when someone comes up to you at an event and says, "Hey, you know what? Can you do this or this?" If it's something very, very simple, I don't have a problem with it. And this is the thing I was talking a little bit backstage with you guys. And this is the thing I equate when I talk to other DJs about this as well. Look at a plumber, look at an electrician, look at a carpenter, look at anyone's in the service industry. If they are at your house or at your business or at, working on your car, mechanic, and it's something very simple, like, hey, you know what? I'm out there doing your air filter on your vehicle. Oh, by the way, I need to check your oil. Hey, can you check my oil? Can you check my trans fluid? Okay, 2 seconds, no problem. Now, change my oil or change my trans fluid, that's a whole nother thing. And that's the thing you got to look at, is what is the customer asking for? It's something very simple. Hey, can I get an extra microphone because I have 2 people doing a speech right now? My mom and dad both want to say something. All right, no big deal. That's a nothing thing. Hey, we're going to bring a band in, and you're going to do sound for the band. Well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother realm. And that's why you have to explain to your customer, like, I could do that, but I'm going to have to charge you for it because it's time and material. And that's the thing, is that you don't want to leave money on the counter, money on the table. It's your hard work. It's your equipment. It's your wear and tear. You don't want to have stuff that's being destroyed, beat up, being used, being worn out quicker because you're doing all these little things. Now, just like let's say a ceremony. So as a ceremony, I do a little bit more, and I charge accordingly for it. For a ceremony, we do lapel microphones, one for the officiant, one for the groom. We do a handheld microphone on a stick off to the side for readings if they're doing a reading. I have a handheld microphone. If we're hooking up a videographer and it's output, no big deal. I'm not going to charge for that. But if we're doing sound reinforcement for a string quartet, or we're doing sound reinforcement for someone's going to do acoustic guitar, okay, are they going to plug into my system Do they need a microphone? Is it, do they have an XLR? Do they have, a quarter inch? What are we doing here? These are the questions you should ask and know beforehand. And all of a sudden, day of, they go, oh, yeah, by the way, cousin so-and-so wants to play guitar. Can I get a mic for that? There's a charge for it. And it's not that you're being mean. It's not that you're trying to, just try and steal money from them. You're trying to cover your cost. You have this cost that you're incurring. You're using your equipment, your expertise, and you're adding additional work. You should do this. This is one of the things like the guys who, and nothing wrong with it, the guys who put up a eVerse 8, a microphone, receiver, and they use their tablet for whatever music service. It's great if it's really, really basic, and I'm sure you charge accordingly. But again, like I'm a little bit more than that because of what if something happens? What if something comes up? Am I better prepared for that? Yes. And the reason why is because of the fact that my wife and I, our business, our employees, we prepare for worst case scenario. And again, if we have to do that, we can do it fairly quickly and prepare for it. But again, I'm going to charge for it because it's my expertise, my labor, my time, my equipment. And I'm going to do that. Again, something simple, adding an extra microphone because two people want to say something. Okay, we can do that. But if we're going to do something more elaborate, the more elaboracy, the more cost. And it's one of the things that as a business owner, you have to say, hey, if you own a restaurant, you walk in there, I want a hamburger, basic hamburger, just ketchup, mustard, pickle, done. All right, fine, great. $5. Boom, done and over with. Well, I want a double hamburger and I want bacon and I want this special kind of cheese. I want these toppings. I want curly fries. Well, I'm going to charge you $12 for that versus a $5 hamburger because you're making things much more elaborate. You get much more with it. So what do you want? Do you want the basic hamburger or do you want this deluxe double cheeseburger with all this other stuff on the side? Well, that's the thing you have to talk to your customer about. And that's there's things you talk about them and they expect certain things. So the expectation of what you're going to do for their event, be it doesn't matter if it's a wedding, doesn't matter if it's a corporate gig. What are you trying to do? What is the end goal? And this is the things that when you talk to customers, it's more than a quick chat. Hey, yeah, I got you covered. Then you're incurring more work to do for something that you're leaving money on the table. So it's a corporate gig. Oh, I just need 2 speakers up in the air and 1 microphone. Well, what happens is a panel sitting there. Everybody needs a microphone and it's 8 people on the panel. And you have 500 people to cover. 2, K-12s are not going to do that. So this is why you need to kind of get in the weeds and talk to people and see what they expect. What are they looking at? And you go worst case scenario. What happens? All 500 people show up. If 200 people show up, hey, fine, great, no problem. I have more enough sound to cover more than 200 people. But if all 500 people show up, I need to make sure I have everything covered. So those are the things you got to look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
So okay, now let's talk about like in the action, because that's one of the main questions or inquiries that I have. So let's say that you are at a gig and then Uncle Jimmy, he comes out to you and like, hey, I want to plug in because I have a surprise for, like, not even the couple knows. I have a surprise song for them, and you need to plug in his guitar or whatever he plays.
Nope.
What do you do, and how do you go about it?
Nope. And the reason why I'm dead certain no, we don't surprise bride and grooms on their day of their wedding. We go up to the bride and groom and ask them. They're the ones who say who can do stuff, because Uncle Jimmy could be the uncle who always tells jokes and wants to get up there and pretend it's Saturday Night Live and play his drunk uncle, or Adam Sandler and make a dirty song up as he's singing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, who looks bad on that? Well, I let him up there. So this is something that you want the couple. It's their day, not Uncle Jimmy's day, not mom and dad, their family. We want them to celebrate with the couple, but ultimately it's the couple's day. Do they want Uncle Jimmy to sing? Oh no, Uncle Jimmy. Oh God. Uncle Jimmy, he's got a horrible voice and he does these bad renditions of songs. No. We don't want Uncle Jimmy. So the first thing first that we do, and actually Tracy does this, because Tracy handles the coordination side. She'll talk to the person who wants to do whatever. She'll like, okay, I need to talk to the bride and groom. Even to surprise, no, we can't do that because it's their special day. And she, tells them, would you want to be surprised? And all of a sudden something goes awry, and who looks like the jerks? We do. Because we allowed you to do this. One of the best analogy was a venue we dealt with. We were there, and the venue manager comes walking up to Tracy and I, and she goes, "You guys are very professional at what you do." And we're like, "Yeah, we try very hard to be very professional, And we're laughing and stuff like that, joking around. And a week prior, a DJ had the normal speeches during during dinner, and turned around and to everyone and said, "Does anyone else have anything else to say to the couple?"
Unprompted. He wasn't supposed to say that. Oh,
45 minutes later, dinner started.
Oh, geez.
So not only they're doing a roast of the couple, it was bad roast too, according to the manager, but all the food was overheated sitting in hot boxes. And also, everything was set back 45 minutes late. So all the dances, the photographer left. Because who's got a contract when they leave? The photographer, because they start at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and then all of a sudden they're leaving at 9 o'clock at night. Well, if you're not doing dances till 10 o'clock, sometimes 10, 15 minutes, a photographer may stay around. But they're going to stay an hour or two later because you messed up. Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
This is why
I think Diego, the surprise part of the question got sidetracked the conversation. But I think the point is let's say it's something that's sanctioned by the couple. Like they had booked a violinist or something, but they just hadn't communicated that. But if you had a last minute thing that was sanctioned by the couple, having a plug-in situation, how would you handle that on the day of? Is that something you would approach the couple about again in the moment, or then wait for afterwards to address?
No, we would come up to them beforehand, like, okay, we didn't know this was happening. What do you want to do? So we talk to them, and then we tell them, okay, if something very simple, just a simple microphone. Okay, I'm not going to charge for that.
Yeah,
something very simple. But if they bring in a keyboard and they're bringing other stuff in, and they want to plug into our audio system and wants to do sound engineering, well, then you're going to get charged. And we'll tell them that, we're charging you. There's a fee for this. If it was just, hey, I just need a microphone for a few minutes or something like that, no big deal. But if we're going to do sound, reinforcement, and this is why we ask in the beginning, are you planning on doing anything? If you are planning to do something, tell us beforehand.
You don't get surprised.
Yeah, there's no surprise day of. It's now all of a sudden surprise. Uncle Jimmy's coming in to play his accordion. Okay, great. That's fine and great. But Uncle Jimmy with his accordion, okay, what does he need? He needs a special microphone for an accordion. Well, I don't have that. I'm not prepared for that. Well, he needs a microphone to sing into. How's he going to play accordion and sing into a microphone? These are things that, people have things
I've
in
had
mind.
this. Yeah. It's happened to me. Like my first professional gig, they had some guy at the wedding guest. They had told me ahead of time, but I didn't know about all this stuff. That he's gonna bring his own microphones, and then they're gonna perform a skit or something at the wedding. So he brought his own, they were Shure mics, but they were BLX or something, and they were cutting out during their performance. And obviously, everybody looks at me. I plugged it into my mixer and everything, but they, obviously the people performing knew that it was their own mics, but everyone else thought, my mics were cutting out. And then, I was doing all the sound engineering. There were lapels, so there's always the thing with the feedback and whether you can hear them loud enough, this, that. So that all that stuff fell on me. But that was something I knew beforehand. But I was early on in my DJ career, so I was like, it sounds not a big deal.
And that's one of the things, you did a perfect example. Why I'm a very big, anti borrow someone else's equipment. I don't know what their equipment is. Yeah. Now you're out in California and you're in the major areas in LA or San Diego or San Francisco. Those major cities, certain frequencies work, certain frequencies don't work. So if I come in from, let's say, Las Vegas, where the frequency works great in Las Vegas, I come to LA, that frequency doesn't work. Well, I don't know that. I'm not there all the time. I'm out in Las Vegas. It's just like for me, if someone's out in Rockford and they come to Chicago, I go out to Rockford and I know the frequencies would work out there, will also work down in the city.
Chicago is different.
But the thing is that, you bring something from out there, you're not used to it, and it doesn't work. You're like, oh, what's going on here? And again, you look like the jerk because it looks like your equipment's failing. It's not your equipment. It's not, other than them plugging in and going through your speakers. You're not doing anything. It's their equipment, and they have cheap equipment, even though it has a brand name on it. They have like the basic Bo Bonham model unit. Yeah. They don't have anything robust, no external antennas. There's a whole bunch of things you go through, and what frequencies are on. It's a nightmare scenario. And this is why that if we're going to do something, I want my own equipment to use because I know what my equipment's capable of doing, not someone else's. And that's why, when you're talking to customers, and doesn't matter what it is, a birthday party, a quinceanera, whatever. Because we've had during dinner time, this is going back, I want to say 12 years ago, 13 years ago, during dinner, about halfway through, all of a sudden we start hearing trumpets coming down the hallway from the kitchen. It's a mariachi band coming in because one half of the wedding party is Mexican and they want to celebrate. So one of the uncles got a mariachi band. And if you ever been around mariachi band, they are loud. And he came in from the kitchen, trumpets blaring and playing, and Tracy's running up to him saying, no, stop. You got the wrong room. Then uncle is running toward Tracy, going, no, I want him here. I paid for him. We don't know what's going on. Yeah. And guess what's happening? We're stopping them. They're sounding like, crap. And it's like, oh no, I paid for this. Oh no, I want this. We didn't know. The couple didn't know. Uncle so-and-so, like, oh yeah, this is,
it's always an uncle. That's why Diego brought that up.
Well, the thing, at least with mariachis, is that it's always a surprise to either the wedding couple or the quinceañera. They never know. And then at like 11, 11, or sometimes 12 o'clock, out of nowhere, they just come in and they're loud. It's loud. Like, and there's like, depends on like how big they are. Like sometimes there's like only 5 or 6. Sometimes there's like 10 or 12 people like singing and they have their own little EV, like Evers or a little Bose speaker. Like the microphones is horrible, but like they can sing though. The guy's got a voice, or the girl, but they're just loud. Those trumpets are loud. Like literally, when that happens to me, all I do is I just put my headphones on and like just because it's so loud.
Turn the music off.
Yeah, to zoom out a little bit, because I mean our ears are already getting a lot of harsh sound. So that, because they always stand in front of the DJ anyways, so they're always there, loud as hell.
So what should you do now, since we're on the topic? What should you do if there's a surprise mariachi comes in, like with what's acceptable in the culture? So do you stop playing the music and like let them do their thing, and then you start playing your music afterwards?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Out of respect. Yes.
Well, no, that's not out of respect. It's because of the fact that, okay, fine, great. We now know it's not the wrong room, because you get in a venue that has multiple weddings going on. We don't know if it's our wedding or the wedding next door. So we're ramping up the music to compensate for this guy, or actually multiple men come walking in playing trumpets and trombones. And, it's like, a whole entire brass band come walking in with guitars and everything you think of. And we're trying to compensate for that when they're playing, and Tracy's stopping them, and they're sounding like, you hear all the different tones going off, because now they're stopping playing, because now their leader of the band is like, no, we're paid. And then uncle coming over, and it's like a couple minutes of being quiet, figure it out. Okay, now we step back up, and it's like, okay, let's go.
You kind of take some time to. Yeah, so for all the non-Latino DJs, this is a tip. If you're doing a half Latino or a full Latino wedding and a mariachi walks in, then just let them play and let them do their thing.
10 times out of 10 times, it's in your event, and just put your music down. Let him do their thing for that hour, because it's usually
unless you're doing like a totally white wedding or something, and then a mariachi comes in, you should probably question it. Then you should be like, I think they might actually have the wrong room this time.
Yeah, crazy things happen.
It's the next room. So some stuff like basically consequences of not setting boundaries. What do you think will be like a harsh consequence? So I think like if you don't set boundaries with your client, and based on what Buddy was saying too, it's stress. There's a lot of stress that's gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of burnout because of stress. And there's gonna be a lot of money that you're gonna lose. Just because
you're gonna feel like you were lied to or like cheated, because you're like, now I'm doing this extra service, but they kind of got away with it. I probably would have usually charged for this if I had known about it, and then you kind of have a bad feeling about you feel bad about it, regardless how the night goes.
Consequences that you guys think that you get out of not setting those boundaries with your client, besides the ones I already said.
Well, the thing is that those guardrails you put up is for a reason, is to guide the client to a certain ending. And the other things you got to look at is liability. Something goes wrong, who is liable for that wrong? Is it something goes wrong and someone gets hurt, someone falls, someone trips over something because now you're scrambling to do something, you got to run extra cabling and you didn't tape it down real quick, you didn't do the right thing? You get people put stuff on social media and something fails, that fail then goes viral, and you're now known as the DJ that it's on YouTube. You can search it, worst DJ ever. He goes up to his girlfriend, friend, wife, whatever she is, and like hits her in her chest and stuff like that. Because he's a bad DJ. You don't want something like that happening to you, that, oh, hey, you know what? Someone caught this and puts it up online that a mistake happened. You don't want that happening. So it's stuff like that. You don't want to catch yourself off guard and look unprofessional. And that's why you want to know things. You have to, in front of the customer, you have to have the face like, okay, let me figure this out for a minute or two. Give me a moment or two. And then I got to figure this out. And then you can kind of regroup. You can kind of like, go, all darn, I'm mad, go in the bathroom, say something for a minute or two, come back. Maybe you got to do something like that to calm down. But ultimately, you have to look professional. You have to do what's right. You have to do what's best for the customer. But customers don't always know what's right. They have an idea. They have a thought. They have you could say a dream or a fantasy of that special day. Even corporate clients, even, quinceañeras, birthdays, everybody has these thoughts and visions and dreams of what they want for that day. And if you want to make it to come fruition, and you need to work very hard for that. But the downside is that you also need to know that if something goes awry, how do I recover from it? If someone wants to ask for this, how do I do this? How do I compensate for it? But some of the bad things, like before, the optics of things, someone getting hurt, your equipment being broken because you're overextending your equipment, you're doing something the equipment wasn't designed to do. There's a lot of things you can go through. There's a ton of weather scenarios happens. What happens if a meteor comes and strikes, the dance floor? You can go into scenarios like that. The likelihood of that's very, very limited, but you have to understand that what you're doing, there are basically, you have some, if not a little bit of, you can run the problems. And you just want to make sure you protect yourself, protect your equipment, protect your interests.
Obviously, there's so many different scenarios that can come up. But I have one that comes to mind because this happened to me more recently. So I want to get your opinion on it, Buddy, to see what you think with your experience, how you would handle it. And I think it's something that does come up. Diego and I were talking about before.
I think you're gonna run it out, and that was gonna be one of my questions. So I guess let me run the question, because I guess you're gonna propose a scenario about
yeah.
So the question was, give us one time you had to enforce a boundary with a client, and how did it turn out? So now you go ahead and tell it, and then Buddy can answer.
Well, mine was that I didn't enforce the boundary, so I need to think of one where I enforced a boundary.
Okay, then start with the one
Buddy might have more experiences on mine, and I'll think about one while he answers.
Okay, well, go ahead and do your first, and then I think Buddy can multitask. He can answer yours while thinking about his.
Okay, cool. So the scenario I had, and I think it comes up. I think it's probably come up for other people too. But basically, the couple wanted to play a video on. Now the system was provided by the venue, this projector and the sound and everything. But they wanted me to play the video from my laptop and kind of manage the playing of the video and basically pressing play at the right time, and so that everyone could watch it and stuff. So I opted to bring a second laptop just so I could just play the video from that rather than doing it from my Serato. So but it was an extra step I had to do. I had to download the video, make sure it was all working. I had the second laptop set up. I had to do like a test with the venue ahead of time, make sure the sound and everything was working, and everything went out without a hitch. But is that something? Because I feel like people either sometimes they want you to bring the projector, which is obviously there's a charge with that, and a whole service with that. But in a scenario where you're using the venue has a projector, you're responsible for like the laptop and playing. Have you been in that situation, and is that something that you would charge a client to do?
And again, it's kind of a loaded question because it depends. And the reason why I say it depends on what already services am I charging for? Is it really my basic package and they're just reception only? Well, yeah, I'm going to charge for that. I'm going to charge a small fee, but if they are very elaborate and they spent, a bunch of money, okay, I'll let it slide. I'm just using an extra laptop I have, no problem. But if I need to do much more work than that, then I would say, again, there would be a charge. And so I've run into a few times. We've run to customers, had a customer wanted a song. All right. And the song is very, very foul. And I explained to the customer that you don't want, this is at the meeting, that you don't want this song played because the fact that it's really offensive. I mean, it's very graphic. It's very offensive. It's laden with foul language. It's your special day. You have friends. You have family. They have no children there, but you have friends, family, aunts, uncles, mom, dad, etc. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take that away from your wedding. That night, one of his friends knows that song, wanted that song, he would get angry with me because I wouldn't play the song. And I said, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin their wedding. And I actually sat the guy down and I said, hey, I don't want to ruin their wedding. It's their special day. Let them have fun. This song is between you and him in the garage, having a few beers, joking around, laughing. I go, that's the fun stuff you have with just a few guys in a circle, watching a football game, a TV in the garage, working on a car. I go, that's a song you do for that. Here at a wedding, look, there's mom right there. There's grandma right there. Do you really want to do it in front of grandma? Oh, grandma doesn't care about swearing. I go, you really know his grandma doesn't care about swearing? He looked at me. He's like, you're right. And that's the thing you have to look at is you explain people why it's not in their best interest to do something. And also, if someone comes along and says, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do a sound for this band? Can you do sound?" Sure, but the thing is that I need to charge you. I'm sorry, it's stuff that I need to bring in. I need to have extra equipment now. Either myself or Tracy's got to run out to the van. More likely Tracy because she doesn't DJ. I DJ. She's going to run to the van and grab something, and it's not something that like we forgot or something broke or something we need to replace. It's added work. It's added materials. And I'm going to need to charge you for that because of the fact that now I think added more work. Now, again, if it's something very simple, extra microphone or, hey, you know what? Can I do this? Fine, great. But like I have certain policies, like people walk up, hey, I had to song my phone. Can you play it off my phone and plug a headphone jack in? No. I don't know what the song is. I want to play licensed music I get from legitimate sources. I pay a lot of money for the MP3s.
Mhm.
I don't know the quality of the audio. You know, somebody plug it in, all of a sudden you hear a Geico commercial playing because they're playing off something off of YouTube just because they want a certain song. No.
Yeah.
Because then people look at me and go, why is a Geico commercial playing? Why is the Geico Gecko coming out of your speakers?
Yo,
Yeah.
now that you brought that, was funny because I went back home for a 15, like I want to say like 5 years ago, and the DJ literally was played a song in the middle of the salsa dance, a commercial, and I'm like, what?
commercial. A commercial for ED or something pops up.
It was a commercial, and I was like, what? And then like, at that time, well, till now, if I hear something that I don't think is right, I don't know about you guys, but it's not. I don't feel like going up to the TV like, hey, you can do this or do that, like,
You're not trying to derail fun, but you're trying to put those guide rails. Like Smiley's talking about, dirty song for WAP, and the client approved it. I have a policy, and I tell this to the couples. I have a strict policy of no foul language at the wedding because I don't want to offend someone. And people who know me through this stuff and talk to me, they see I don't use foul language, coarse language. And the reason why is that because I don't want to offend someone. The other thing also, I don't want grandma there turning and looking at me and going, oh my God, really? You're playing that? It's a highly offensive song. And again, you got approval. That's fine, great. How you want to run your business, you can do whatever you want to for your business. But us as a business, we tell the clients, no foul language, radio edit only. That's the way we do it. So that way no one gets offended, no one complains about anything. Anything that has any kind of, heavy innuendos, and WAP is not a light innuendo. Come on now. It's in the name of the song. It's an offensive song.
No, yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Is wedding appropriate? I don't think so.
If a client comes up to you, wants your highest package, but they want dirty versions, do you turn down the gig, or what do you do in that case? Because they want like the regular.
I explained to them how we do things, and again, if they don't want to listen to me, who has the experience of doing it, for them to have the best event of their night, and they go, no, I want dirty songs, I'm not the right DJ for you. And we've turned down gigs.
Okay.
We had a bride at a wedding show came up to our booth and told Tracy and I that she needed to pick every single song of the night. She needed to know what songs there were, what songs were playing, every song. You couldn't pick one song that wasn't on her list. And we said, no, we're not that type of DJ. We're not an iPod. Pick a few songs, no problem. We're not that type of person. Again, there's people out there who want to do it. If Smiley wants a gig to do that, that's up to him how he wants to do it. We set ourselves differently from a lot of DJs. And that's the thing, is that when you go out there and market yourself as a DJ, as a business, and you put that shingle out there, you're a plumber, you're a lawyer, you're this, you're that. How do you differentiate yourself from someone else who does the same exact thing as you? And this is how you differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
You put those guardrails and explain to them, this is why I do this. This is, and you're not being mean. You're just explaining to them what your philosophy is. And it's part of the things when you work with them, you tell them, I have a policy, no foul language. People come up all the time. Can you do this? Can you play that? And then, sometimes there's certain songs, later at night that you could play a dirty song. You talked to the couple before, they wanted a song because it's a college song, whatever. Fine, great. One there, we knew beforehand. We talked to them about it, and they were like, oh, come on, we really want. That's something we knew beforehand. But someone come walking up, go, can you play this? No.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Smiley, what's up, Smiley, by the way? Thanks for stopping by, man. He said, no, he wouldn't take that gig either. I think we're probably in agreement about that one, is that, like if someone's just looking for a DJ to play a playlist, it's like, they don't need me. They could just hire anybody. They're probably looking for the cheapest package or something, they could find anybody off the street and do that.
So, and with this, in that instance, if it's a wedding or a quince, Yeah, I probably would say no too. But if it's like a private event, like a house party, whatever, and they want me to just go based on the, I would say, I mean, I will say yes. I know Buddy doesn't do. I don't think you do like house parties and things like that, right? You just do weddings.
I did that back in college, and then my first
Okay.
time around DJing, and no, I already cut my teeth in that area, right? No, I don't do small little parties like that. I just do weddings. I look at myself, and again, this is one of the things Tracy and I've talked about this. We market ourselves as a wedding exclusive wedding service, so we hone our skills in wedding. We
Mhm.
don't do quinceaneras, we don't do bar mitzvahs, we don't do other things because of the fact that we want to make sure we focus on one area. There is a saying, "Jack of all trades, master of none,"
Yep.
and I really take that to heart because there's very few people. If you look at a band, there's very few people who can play multiple areas. Now, Dave Grohl, he can't read music, but he could play guitar, he could play bass, he could play drums, he could play keyboard, he could play piano. He's one of the few guys that could do that. Most people can play a couple instruments. A lot of people can play only one instrument because they get really good at it. Do you take the world's greatest drummer and make them play keyboard when they're not really good at it? No. And that's the thing as I look at it. We hone our skills in one area, make sure we are on the edge of, perfection, as close as we possibly can get. We're human. We still make mistakes. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the means, but we try and get there as close as possible and try to have, again, those guardrails there to protect. And Smiley, I want to thank you very much for coming on tonight, too. You're awesome, dude. I always love reading you in the chat. So I got to do a shout to you, man.
Smiley's one of our regulars from day one. He's one of the day ones. He's always here every week. So huge shout out to Smiley.
So
yeah, I always read the stuff afterwards. A lot of times on Thursdays, I have other stuff going on, and I haven't been watching the show for a bit, and there goes my light. And I always see your chat and you're smiling. It's really awesome that you chatted up. It's really cool, dude.
So, Buddy, how often do you practice? If like, when do you practice? Like, do you even practice anymore, or is just out of muscle memory?
No, I still I have I've done Twitch. I go on Twitch. I'll DJ on Twitch. I have a huge music video library, and I go on Twitch and I'll DJ on Twitch here and there. You'll catch me on Twitch on live, and I'm DJing, doing an hour set or 2 hour set. And I'll pick a topic like 90s Eurodance or stuff that I'm passionate about. I could play. I really can't play too much at a wedding because not everyone's going to want 90 Eurodance or Chicago freestyle or Chicago hip house or stuff that I started off with when I started DJing. But I sit here a lot of times, during the daytime when I'm doing a little paperwork or doing stuff. I have two of them. I have one in my van and one here because they're small. The little Starlight controller from Hercules, $99 controller, plugs in the USB. That I've DJ'd stuff with that because it's a nice little compact controller. I'm not gonna get crazy with doing tricks with it. You could. It's actually pretty decent little controller. It plugs into a USB.
Yeah, it has like everything.
Yeah, it does a lot. And I'll sit here and I'll take some songs and I'll play music and I'll start going into stuff and start going through things, seeing what works. New song comes out. I'm promo only is where I get my music through the pool service. I'll look through that, see what comes down. Oh, hey, David Guetta's got a new song, or hey, this person, let's try this one. What's going to be popular? And looking at the charts, seeing what's good. Hey, what's going to fill my dance floor? What's going to get people out there grooving? What's going to get grandma out there grooving? Okay, grandma's going to groove to the Bee Gees. How can I get to something newer? Go from the Bee Gees to something newer. Okay, got a couple disco songs I can get into. And you play scenarios and you start doing stuff and you start seeing where you can go with stuff. And I do that every so often. Am I doing it all the time? Yeah, practice is always good. But, I'm not constantly every single day doing that. No. But like any baseball player, any football player, they're constantly ready and they work out and they have that mentality. Even retired sports people who played football or baseball professionally or any sport professionally, they're always, even after the game, they're still doing stuff. they're still active. And that's the way I look at it. You need to keep active. You need to do things. It's just, again, I doing a party here and there, it's just not what I mark myself for. But someone doing it, God bless them. If you're out there hustling, go and work at a bar or going to go to karaoke, God bless you. That's you're making money.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. It's just that I choose not to.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm older and because I've been around the block a few times, I just,
Well, and you probably get booked out more for weddings at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to fill up your weekends, just from a business standpoint. The wedding's obviously always going to pay more. So if you take bookings ahead of time for smaller parties and you anticipate getting weddings those weekends, it doesn't make business sense either.
Well, yeah, and I got bookings in 2026. I actually won the wedding shows. We did 2 wedding shows this past weekend before last. One of the couples had a 2027 wedding date.
Oh, I've gotten inquiries. I haven't booked anything 2026. I haven't gotten any inquiries though for 2027. That's crazy. But hey, Diego, do you have any situations where the question you asked before about times you had to put your foot down for clients?
Well, now that brought up, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna ask another question before I answer yours. Before it goes out of my head.
I'm asking you the question you asked me, bro. It's a question you asked me.
Before it's gone. Okay.
Gummy bears.
If I forget the question,
gummy oranges.
These are delicious.
Vitamin C.
The only time that I had to say no to something was actually the Peruvian Indian wedding. They it's because
that's a bad combo. You got two demanding families.
Yeah,
2 demanding cultures.
Like and I already mentioned this before. The first thing they did is I made the mix their
performance mix
the performance that the Indians wanted to do. And once I get to the venue, they tell me that I need to, if I could change a song because one of the guys cannot do the part of the dance. So I need to take one part of the song out and add a new song. And that is like, buddy, what would you have done like that again? Or how would you take in that? Because I was fresh into like the wedding scenes, I think it was like my 3rd or 4th wedding, and that was my first interracial wedding. So I was like very excited to do it. So I was like, sure, I can do it. So
you did not put your foot down.
No, but not in that sense. But there was more things that happened in that event
later.
Itself. Yeah.
Got it.
But that I was like, because I thought that part was kind of, for me, it was easy. Because I already had like the cue points set on all of the songs. The only one that I didn't have was the new one that they wanted me to add. So I had to like download the song, find the time, and then I put it all together. Then after, and I let it pass. But that's risky because one, I let Pee Wee set up everything by himself because I was working on the music.
Yeah. See, Smiley says he would have charged for that, and then said if changes are needed, it's an additional charge.
Yeah. See, and that's something that I didn't had on my contract because again, I was so new to this, but it happened to me, and I learned from that. Then
that's the big thing. Experience. There's no substitute for experience, and
Correct.
Having experience in areas helps you. And this is why, this is why I have the DJ Roundtable. This is why I like coming on your show. And you guys have your show. It's to pass that information so other DJs don't fall in the same pitfalls that I fell into, that either one of you guys fell into, the guys in the Roundtable have fallen into. Disc Jockey News, another great source. Problems they've run into. It's all these things that people have run into, and we have the experience of running into it. And if you can share your pain, basically. So someone else doesn't happen to them, they run into something, they know how to handle it. It makes them a better DJ, makes all of us better together as a DJ service and as DJs out there servicing our clients. The last thing I want to do is see another DJ struggle or run into a problem like what you ran into. Now, when there's multiple cultures going on, something we haven't experienced before, we are upfront and tell someone, we have not done this before, but we will work with you to make sure it's exactly what you want. If we've done it before, this is what we've done in the past, but we still want to work with you if we got to help with music, pick stuff or whatever. And having other people you reach out to. So like I went with Shay, I told him I have a customer who is Indian, and she was like, Bollywood music. She's going to send me a list and stuff. If I got some questions, I'm going to ask him because again, it's his culture and it helps out. Now, have I done Bollywood music before in Bollywood? Yes. But having someone who's more vested in that and has more in depth in it, never is bad. Just like someone who's Spanish. If I had a question, Diego, I would come to you because, again, you speak the language. You understand the culture more than I do. Now, again, I understand a lot of parts of it. There are certain songs you do, and you have to know what, where they're from. Are they Mexican? Are they Puerto Rican? Are they Colombian? Are they, Guatemalan? So you got to know where they're at. And in like Mexico, what state they're from, because different regions, different music. But there's other things. If I have questions, I can turn to you and ask questions. There's other people who I look at, I can turn to and ask stuff. I'm not sure on this. How do I overcome this? How do I do this? How do I serve my customer? And having that depth of knowledge that you do, that both you guys have in your areas, is important to share. And it's building bridges with other DJs. It's having those resources that you can actually send a message and say, hey, dude, you have a half hour to talk to them.
It's having a network, and it comes in handy. For us, I kind of stick to my niche, but I have a lot of other, Indian DJs in the area, especially, you need help, you need backup, you need something goes wrong. It's always good to have that big network. I'm going to hit some of these smiley comments here. He said, but if it's something I have to fix regarding my mixing it'll be no additional charge. But once they tell me it's good and they want to change it, I'm charging. Okay, so he says if it's once they want to make a change after things have been set, there's an additional charge. That's how he does it. And he sold 5 quinceañera surprise dance mixes this week so far to people in different states. I had one correction; they were happy. Wow, man, you got a whole business going. That's five in a week. So I think you're saying you were charging like 50 or something, $50 or $100. So that's a decent chunk of change.
So after that happened to me in this wedding, from then on, I'm like, okay, I'll make the, especially for quinceañera, I'll make the mix. And after that, if something needs to be changed because you want to change it, then I will allow it once. After that, I'm charging $50 for anything that I have to retouch. But the first one, it's already included into the package in the packages. If you get like my gold package or my platinum package, then it's included in there. If you get my basic package, no, you're gonna pay. I'm gonna charge you like $100 to make the mix. And if I need to edit anything that is my fault, then I'll edit for free. But if it's something that, for instance, you send me from this song from minute 1 to minute 15, minute point 0:15, and then later on you tell me, oh, can it be to 20? I'm changing, so I'm charging you for that. So but I learned from that mistake. Boundary. Yeah, so I learned from that mistake.
And one other thing also, Diego, I wanted to say this. I know a lot of people are talking about, it was on a couple of forums about kickbacks and stuff like that. If another DJ helps you out, let's say I go to Diego and Diego has some stuff and helps me out with something, or Shay, or any DJ, there's nothing wrong with buying them a gift card for Starbucks or Panera or something. Hey, you know what, dude? You help me out. Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Here's a virtual gift card for whatever. I appreciate it. I thank you so much. That is showing gesture and kindness, and not expecting it. If someone wants to help you out and they help you out, that is fantastic. If someone's demanding, hey, I'm going to do a mix, you got to pay me. Well, that's up to you, because again, it's their labor If they're friends with you, fine, great. But if you're going to someone saying, hey, make me this mix all the time, are you a DJ, or are you someone just using someone else's, blood and sweat and tears on a project? It's like anything. You have to look at what you're doing and how much work it is. If you're helping someone and you're hanging out with someone and they ask you some questions, they bounce ideas off you, that's great. And they should reciprocate by, when you have a question, hey, you got questions? I got to ask you some questions. That's what it's about. Exchange of ideas and helping each other out. Yeah. And then, send someone, hey, you know what? I'm going to send you, dude, you helped me out. You got me out of this rough one. I got to get you a cup of coffee, buy you a Big Mac, something,
Yeah. Gift cards are nice for stuff like that. He said, yeah, bro, got to get it any way possible. So he's talking about his side hustle for making mixes. He said, 100. I used to do it for free, but then I had to rethink it after my wife kept telling me people were taking advantage by doing too many changes. Yeah, people will take advantage. You're trying to be nice and say, I'll help you with whatever you need, and then they'll literally just make you do mixes and edit them, and and just take advantage of you.
And you know what? Sometimes the mixes are like 3 or 4 songs, but there's times that they want like freaking 8 or 9 songs, and then you really spending a lot of time making sure that it goes from the specific minute and second to the specific minute and second that they want. Then then they change it. You send it to them. 2 weeks later, they say yes, it's fine, and then 2 weeks later, something they can't get it right or whatever. Hey, can you change it? Yeah, that's not your fault. That's their fault. And then you just spend all that time for nothing because you got to change it again. So yes, you do have to charge for that now. And I learned that the hard way. Back then, fresh, I was a yes ma'am, yes sir, everything. Now I'm a little more like no, like I learned. Yeah, I learned my lesson. Yeah, so that's another thing that's very 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 important, because again, this things you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and like you're here to we do this because we love it, but also we do get paid for it, but you don't want to be taken advantage of just because you don't want to say no, or you don't want to say no.
It ends up becoming a lot of time, and you're wasting your time. It makes them think about before they tell you, these are the times we want. It makes them think about it, rather than, oh yeah, whatever, we'll just have them make this and we'll change it if we have to. It's free anyways. Even if you're charging $50 for a change, or 25, even $25, people will still think about it. Because it's still, they have to pay. Just the fact that they have to pay something, they're not going to just be willy-nilly about what they send you.
Just like companies that do DJ drops, they may give you 1 or 2 for free to try it out. You go, I want these 15 or 20 drops. They're going to charge you for it. It's like anything else. Again, 1 or 2, you don't mind helping someone out. Mm-hmm. But when you start getting into it, it costs you a ton of money.
Yeah. One thing I'll say, if anyone, like, let's say you get tired, you don't want to make mixes anymore, you can literally go on these websites like Fiverr, or like these online like freelance websites, and you can search like mixer, like producer, song mix, and there's people like do it for like $10-15. They'll make a mix. So I haven't done this, but I know other DJs that are way busier than I am. They just send their clients and tell them, hey, if you need a mix made, just here are some websites. You can send the mixes, the timings you want, and they'll make the mix for you. And they're like, we just don't even do it anymore, because it's just so much time and so much back and forth. So they kind of outsource it and have the client go to these other
fit. I don't see that being the best fit, because one, you're there for a reason. You're the DJ of the event for a reason. You're not wanting to take the time to do this mix or whatever. Like it doesn't make sense. Like, why do I, like, you are my DJ. I hire you.
So you get hired. It's like the playlist thing. It's like you could get hired to play a playlist, but that doesn't involve like your creative energy. So the DJing part, these guys that do the big stuff, they leave the live DJing, the dance floor part, to that's what I'm gonna handle. This stuff, making a mix, you sending me, these are the times, these are the songs. Anyone can do that, and that's why these services exist. Or like Smiley, right? He gets business. He's doing five a week. I'm sure those people are going to have a DJ the day of, but for some reason, they're still coming to him. So it's like, that kind of work that's more not specific to the guy who's actually showing up. It's like any DJ could do that. Anyone that knows how to use GarageBand could do it. They outsource that stuff.
Anyone that knows that just downloads Audacity, you can do it too yourself. But the point is, how are you gonna get that music? If you're paying $15 for a freelancer or whatever to do it, I guarantee you those songs are from YouTube. Because ain't nobody gonna pay that much money for 5, 6, or 7 songs. If you're running a song by like
so the other thing is you're talking about the songs. There's people that they won't do it because it's technically illegal to send the clients like files of if you're talking about like, you know, where you're getting the music from. If you're using files that you own, but then you're cutting them and then you're sending them to the clients to practice, they have the actual file, that's technically illegal too. So I know some people that cite that as a reason for why they don't make mixes as well, because they're like, we can't send you the actual mixes because of licensing and, you know, the legalities of it. It's actually illegal to do that. That's like peer-to-peer, you know, sharing of files. So, you know, if you're going down that route, then you're kind of running into those issues as well.
And, you know, talking about, you know, DJs who are, you know, are too busy to do a mix and stuff like that. I edit stuff for weddings here all the time and then do things for customers. And I think, you know, again, nothing against people who have to work a 9 to 5 and then DJ on the weekends, but that sounds like, you know, again, a weekend warrior, a guy who doesn't do his full time, doesn't have the time in life, family, work, and doing a business. And that's the question you have to do is like, if you don't have time to concentrate on your business, do you have a business? Is your business actually running you, or are you running the business? And that's the thing. I do this full time, and someone doing a part-time can do a really good job, but can they focus all the time on it? And maybe it's too big of a project for you to do, and maybe you need to concentrate on something else. That's the thing you have to look at. What fits your wheelhouse? Yeah, the money is great for a wedding, but if you can't handle the workload, you're doing a disservice to your customer, and then you don't want to do that. And that's the thing, you get to figure out what's best for you, because your family comes first, your life comes first before anything, before the business, for anything. Your family is first. And I always tell people that, make sure you concentrate on your family. After that, you know, again, if you have a 9 to 5 job, you know, it pays you pretty decent money. Hey, great. If you got, you know, you go DJ a weekend, okay, fine, great. But are you doing a disservice to your customers? You know, are you better off just doing parties and stuff like that you can make a few bucks? Or are you serious? If you're serious, do you have enough business to say, hey, you know, I left the corporate world a long time ago and I concentrated in the business and grew the business. And that's the thing, you have to make that decision on when you do that. And is it now or later? And it's like anything else. You have to see what's best for you. But using, you know, a software to make a mix, again, it's out there. It's not hard to do. Mm-hmm. Heck, you can do it in a virtual DJ and stuff like that, and have the cue point set up, and it's go in when you go do a mix, and boom, 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 hit those cue points. You're done and over with. You know, Serato does it. You know, you can do it through a lot of songs, and it takes what, you know, maybe a half hour. And if a customer wants to do it, do like we're doing here. Do like a Zoom call, get them on there, have them listen to it and verify it. Or you need to change things live. I've done that before. Have a customer in there on a Zoom call. They're listening to music. Oh yeah. Hey, yeah, that's where I want to start. I want to start at this time. Boom. Okay. Not hard to do.
Yeah. No, that's all I think, all included into the price. You know, it's like when you're that's extra stuff up above and beyond, you know, that you do. And that's why I do all the mixes, because I'm like, you know, they're paying me a lot of money, and so I'm gonna do this service for them. You know, because it's all like included with the experience, you know, that comes with having me as your DJ. But Smiley said he uses a program called Mixpad. I think he mentioned that before once. I haven't checked it out yet, but he uses that to cut the music. It's similar to Audacity, but it makes it simpler and quicker and works great though. Yeah, I use Logic. I have Logic, but I mean it's the same thing as GarageBand basically. I don't do anything.
I use Audacity to do mine.
Audacity, yeah.
Yeah. When I'm feeling like really, really lazy, yes, I use Audacity. But when I actually, you know, want to put a little more sauce into it, I do it through Serato.
Then you do it live.
Diego,
you just record it.
You guys, I can never see either one of you guys being lazy. You guys are like running around like you got like Fiverr on fire all the time. You guys have like so much going on, something funny. You guys are always constantly busy. And I love watching you guys. It's like, share the reviews and Diego with stuff going on. It's
I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I think you're busier than us because you got more gigs, and I see you on like 5 different shows throughout the week. So I know you're busy with the shows at least. These podcasts.
I guess I'm a popular guy. I'll leave you on this one. This last wedding show, I actually ran to a guy. He's like, I seen you on YouTube. I'm like,
nice.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
I've gotten that like twice, and I'm like I get really shy when they tell me that. I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. Like
Diego, I seen you on YouTube.
No, I haven't gotten that. I don't think it'll be a while before I get that. Yeah, no, there we go. We've reached 7 o'clock though. That was a great conversation.
Yeah, that was quick. Oh, wait! I never finished saying what was it that my.
Where did you put your foot down? Okay, yeah, tell us. Where did you actually put your foot down?
Right. So fast forward, there was one part where they had a presentation. So literally, I had to stop playing, right? Because they had a presentation. There was a whole bunch of people from India and Peru. They made the little congratulations video. Put it all together, and we did that, right? So after that's over, like 30 minutes before the event was over, which it was like 11 p.m. The one guy comes to me and he's like, "So you're gonna play one more hour, right?" And I was like,
"Oh
no, why?" And he's like, "Well, you stopped for an hour, so
oh my god,
you had to play for the additional hour." And I was like, and that's when I was like, I got pissed.
Yeah, you're like, yo, hell no.
So I was like, whoa, hold up. I said, let me tell you something. I was here from the time that we have in the contract till 11 o'clock. Whether you guys stopped and decided to do this presentation thing, it's not my fault. It's not like I grabbed my stuff and left. My stuff was here. I actually let my speakers be the sound for your guys's presentation. So
dude, these people, man, they're just so bold. I can't believe that.
I was like, I still worked and I did my job. So I'm leaving at the time that I'm supposed to leave, which is 11. Now, if you want me to stay one more hour, then I'm gonna have to charge you $350. And then they were like, oh, but you didn't play. I was like, but I was here, and my contract is from 4 to 11. Or 5 to 11, something like that. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Unless you pay me, I'm not doing it. And so.
Yeah, speaking of audacity, man, the audacity of some people to request something like that, dude.
Has that ever happened to you, buddy? Or you, Shay? Had that ever happened to you?
No, never something like that. I mean, I always had people like, oh, hey, can you play a few more songs? Can you, like trying to push it, and then I'll go 15 minutes.
One more song.
Exactly. I'll go 15 minutes, but as soon as I'm telling them, after 15 minutes, because I was always an extra hour, as a charge, and I say it's prorated too, so I'll go 15 minutes. I won't charge them. All right. But once we go past that, I'll start, being like, you have to pay me now if you want to keep going.
No, I no, whatever the cutoff time is, if it's 11 o'clock, the last song I'm playing, and I want people hugging each other at like 10:57, 10:58 if possible, because the fact that the venue will charge a couple money for going over here a lot of times. So the thing is that it's just one of the things that I don't want them to incur an additional fee.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I'm also done working. That's it. Just like if you worked, I think Smiley said he works a regular 9-to-5 job. You work your 9-to-5 job. If your boss said, hey, I need you to work an extra 15 minutes or so for free, would you? No, you'd be like, no, I'm sorry. I'm clocking out. I'm going home. And, just like
I wouldn't even talk to him. I'll just leave.
just start unplugging.
I'm already out.
I'll just give my times I put my foot down. Too quick. One was somebody wanted me to make so many changes to my contract before signing it. It was like crazy. Like I'll do little things, but they were like talking about liability and like I'll have to pay them if I can't find a replacement DJ if I can't make it. I'm like, this is getting too crazy. Sorry, I'm not the DJ for you, And so that was one where I put my foot down and just and they're like, "Oh, can we talk on the phone?" I'm like, "No, I think it's just time to move forward." And then the second time was I got somewhere, I got set up based on like the father was there. The father told me to set up in one place, but then the mom shows up for this party, and the mom's like, "Oh no, you're supposed to be in this other place," and I'm already all set up and everything.
That happened to me too.
Oh really? So I was like, "No, sorry, I can't set up." I was like, "It's
Was
my
this a
stuff's already set."
backyard? Was this like a backyard gig, or was this a
It was.
venue?
I mean, it was outdoor. It was like they rented a tent outdoors on a country club, so it wasn't. But it was kind of like it was a pretty informal kind of a thing. But yeah, the parents had different ideas of where I was supposed to set up, and I'm like, I'm already set up now. I can't move my stuff, basically.
Yeah,
So I
that
kind of put my
happened to
foot
me in
down.
Aquinte. That happened to
That
me in
happened to you?
Aquinte. I got there, and then one of the cousins or something was like, "Oh yeah, I think you're gonna be there." So I'm like, "All right." So I got there. We were setting up everything, put the speakers and all, and then the mom comes and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but you were supposed to be there because that's where the cake goes." And I'm like,
Oh,
I was like, they told me to like set up here, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so
yeah.
sorry," and I was like,
So you did it.
I was like, it's a lot of, I was like, it's a lot of equipment. Everything's already taped. Everything was already taped.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
So but then you moved it though. You moved.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
told
Okay,
I
good,
was
good,
like,
good.
It's easier to move the cake over there than to move all of my stuff over there.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
I'm
man. I'm
staying
like,
here. Please move the
So
cake.
really quickly for the three of us, really quick, a show of hands. Who here has had, when you walk into a venue and they say you're going to set up over here, wherever here is, and it is in the wrong spot, and you're like, no, but and they turn to you and go, well, all the DJs set up there. All the DJs.
I haven't
set
had
up
that
there.
yet, but I can imagine.
You get that
Yeah.
more often than not. They tell you that. Oh yeah, we always had the DJ set up right here. I'm like, no, that's not where
And
I told them I
acoustically,
wanted
it's
to be.
wrong. They put you like in an
The
area that's
corner.
not near a dance floor. It's in a corner of this. And Smiley's putting his hands up. Yep.
Yeah. So I said he has a one song
Out there.
crate. He hates when that happens, and then he's putting his hand up too. That's happened to him.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah,
It has
good.
happened to me too. They always say that. Especially the venue person. She's like, "Oh, we always put the DJ here, and they never complain." Well, now you have one. I don't want. I'm
Like,
not.
well,
Be
guess,
here. I'm not be here.
like, guess what? I complain.
Yeah, you got one. Me.
You got one
So,
today.
back
Right.
then, like I want to say 7 years ago, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. Now, knowing what I know and everything that I've learned, I know where I need to be. So no, I'm not going there. I'm here, and then I'll just talk to the
See, I'm lucky. I have a secret weapon, and she's not here because she's in
she's
bed.
sleeping. She's taking care.
I have
yeah.
a Tracy, so I can vent to Tracy, and she's like, okay, I'll take care of it. And she walks over there and she talks to him, and again, she lets me, like,
Yeah.
vent to her and talk to her and vent to frustrations, and say, no, we can't do this. We need to do this. It's a wrong place. It's wrong this. She's like, okay, let's calm down for a second. She calms me down, goes over and explains, says, hey, this is actually better. This is beneficial. And then she starts doing that. It's more beneficial for the couple. It's for this. We're set up here already. This is a better for XYZ. And a lot of times people are like, oh, okay, well, I guess we got a new place now. It's all how you present. If you present something in a bad light and you walk them to all mad and angry, they're going to be defensive. We're like, oh, heck no, This DJ sucks. You go up to them and go, have you ever thought of this? And we feel it's better to do this. Again, you get more flies with honey.
You say
It's not what you say; it's how you say it. And I don't have the pleasure of meeting Tracy, but it sounds like she's like the type of person that has ways with words. She has that touch to talk to people. I wish I had that. I don't have that. I'm very like upfront and blunt, and I don't have a filter sometimes. So sometimes I let Pee-wee talk for me, but like someone like Tracy, that'll be a great addition to to the business. So I need
Well,
to train.
I guess you got to ask your wife to start coming with you, and you got have her learn to be a coordinator. And Shay, the same thing with you. We all have our wives with us.
Well,
And
when I first started,
good.
she was with me in every single event until she had until she broke her knee and she had an ACL replacement. And then after that, she's like, I'm done. So yeah, but before, yeah, she was the one talking to the clients. I just don't have that thing, like.
All right. Well, I gotta head out. But let me read this last Smiley comment. He says, "See, I don't mind not being on the center of the dance floor as long as we aren't all the way to where we can't see the dance floor. We've even been put up on the balcony." And so Smiley's a bit more flexible about the positioning. But,
I guess you've never been put in the bathroom then, because and when she's next to that stall there, next between a urinal and the stall, the DJ out there,
He's never been trying to put in a room where the party's in the other room. That happened.
Yes.
So,
those sound. I think Smiley wouldn't tolerate that either.
Yeah, you can't see anything. Like, what the hell? But let's just cut it off right now because we're 110. We're
Oh yeah, we can go with her all night. We can go for like 4 hours.
Yeah. So just guys, thank you, Smiley, for commenting and keeping us entertained. Buddy, thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy, for stopping by,
here, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
Thanks
a great show. And everyone, check out the DJ Roundtable every Tuesday. I'm gonna say 9 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. Buddy's time,
8 o'clock Central,
yeah, and then
6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. So check them out, man. They got some really cool DJs talking about some great stuff, and you learn a lot. And if you don't catch it on Tuesday on Twitch, you can catch it every Monday at 1 p.m. my time, 12 p.m. his time. I don't know, 3 hours behind Shay's time. So you already know. Thank you
it's
again.
10 o'clock his time, 2 hours behind me. So
okay.
10 o'clock his time.
All right, but you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.